Here's a weird story. One time I was filming a doco on the US border with Mexico, and one of the border guards that we were filming with didn't realise that they still had their mic on. And they say to another border guard something like, "Oh, did you know that Australia locks up their illegal immigrants on islands? Cool, huh?" And the other border guard was like, "Yeah." I remember hearing that and thinking, wow. We really are a model for hardline immigration policy. So when I saw that one particular country was making headlines for just some heinous shit they were pulling with migrants, my first thought, and maybe this makes me a rubbish person, I don't know, but my first thought was, oh, it's not us this time. Yay? I won't go into too much detail about what's happening on the US border. You've probably seen it. The gist is that thousands of children, babies, in fact, have been forcibly separated from their parents. What I will say is that the outrage was seemingly enough for Trump to essentially reverse that policy and sign an executive order saying that separation's no longer a thing.
We're going to have strong, very strong borders, but we're going to keep the families together.
Now, there's plenty to make of that, but in its most sort of simplified form, there was an immigration policy, there was outrage, there was a reversal. That would never happen here. At least I ain't holding out for it. You know, Labor and the Coalition, they don't agree on much, right? I mean, why would they? But of all the things that they could agree on, the one thing they do happens to be the indefinite detention of innocent people on island prisons. That is the one thing that both of our major parties have looked at and gone, oh, okay, yeah, let's both do that. Nauru was opened by Julia Gillard. You don't want to know how many kids were in detention under her. Boat turnbacks were created by Tony Abbott, adopted by Shorten. Both Rudd and Abbott have explicitly said, if you come by boat, you will never be settled in Australia. Now let's be clear about where we're at. The number of people detained offshore is declining, no doubt. Manus has technically closed, although reports will say there are several hundred asylum seekers still on the island. There are around 255 people currently on Nauru. 22 are children. They say they can't go home. We say they can't come here. We're actually fucking stuck. That's why both major parties have been so desperate to find a third country, any country. New Zealand, the US, Cambodia, Malaysia, PNG, fucking Mordor, any country that will take our refugees just so neither of our major parties have to go, maybe it's time to rethink offshore processing. It seems obvious to look at the situation in the US and say, you can't do that to kids. Like, that'll fuck a kid up, man. It's not their fault. But we've got kids trying to kill themselves on Nauru. And we know this. We've known this for some time. A 26-year-old man killed himself on Nauru last week, the 12th in 5 years. But where's the outrage? Maybe it's just not there because we just don't believe it'll change anything.